All right, you guys, I've been getting a ton of questions on this, so I wanted to take a minute and address the Emsella chair. For those of you that may not have heard, it's a chair that you sit on just like I'm sitting on this stool. It has like a back, but you sit upright so that your pelvic floor is directly on the platform. It is designed to stimulate significant pelvic floor contractions. Now, I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist, and I have met with the Emsella rep twice and have had the chair here in the space to sample, to try, to experience with another one of our staff. And so I do have a bit of experience on it. We've also been discussing it in some of the different Facebook groups with pelvic therapists around the country and around the world, really. And we are seeing some concerning things. And so between that and clients asking me about it, I just wanted to share my perspective. Per their own claims, Emsella states that this is great for people with a weak pelvic floor, especially for incontinence. Again, per their own website and claims, they create supramaximal contractions of the pelvic floor, much, much stronger than Kegels could do. Some of the literature, they even claim 1,000 times stronger, or it's like doing 1,200 Kegels in the session. I can honestly tell you, not once in my entire career have I ever thought it was a good idea for anybody to ever do 1,200 Kegels. Never mind do 6 sessions of this treatment. There are women this is working for, that is helping their incontinence. They're not leaking pee, which is a huge factor in life. It's something we treat. That would be valuable, no questions, right? This is not about bashing Emsella chair at all. The overarching point for any of these devices, right, including our own shockwave treatments, including the Mona Lisa vaginal rejuvenation treatments, any of these, I had a client yesterday asking me about a red light therapy tool for the vaginal canal and the tissues. So lots of things around there, and our society tends to be bigger, faster, better, right? And so my primary message is make sure that you work with somebody who gives you a thorough pelvic floor evaluation so that you know exactly what's going on with your own body and can then make decisions about what might be some of the best avenues or treatments for you. Again, I've never once checked a client with any degree of weakness and said, you need to be doing 1,200 Kegels, or even any kind of fraction of that. And unfortunately, there are a substantial percentage of women, a much greater percentage of women, that even when there's some weakness present, there's also some increased tone, increased tension, which often leads to pain. And so when some of the therapists were discussing this treatment amongst ourselves, both in person and on a global pelvic physio Facebook page I'm part of, we were concerned that 2 main things that were being seen a lot of: resolution of urinary incontinence and a sudden onset of fecal incontinence. That would obviously be very concerning, and I would have to think that's happening because of the distortion of tension and tone in the pelvic floor muscles. The other thing is sometimes we're seeing a worsening of pelvic pain, because again, you create tension and spasm in tissues that may have already been tight. That's going to be problematic. So again, I could go on and on about pelvic floor anatomy and muscle tension and the imbalances and all of the things that we typically spend time treating. But the bottom line is, get checked so you know what your own body needs before you go into a treatment like this. Again, some of the Emsella chairs are in your gynecological offices where women are getting a thorough exam, or I don't have too many pelvic PTs that have them yet, but in an environment where there are therapists. Some of them are in these wellness clinics and they're like, oh, you leak pee, try our treatment. And it's fairly expensive, and it's 6 sessions that last about 30 minutes. And it's high frequency electronic stimulation. And I just think that for the vast majority of the population, it's gonna be way too much. And if you start creating significant tension in those pelvic floor muscles, it could lead to much worse pelvic pain, additionally more severe pudendal neuralgia or irritation of the other nerves in the pelvic floor. So just please be careful. Make sure that you feel confident in what your body needs. And as always, please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. We're here to help.